Hi, everybody. I'm Trey Holiday. I work with Africatown Community Land Trust. I'm a contributor for King County Equity Now and also a producer at Converge Media. And I'm here to introduce an amazing project that has been fueled by community concern and community interest, the Garfield Super Block Legacy, Promenade, and Promise Project. In this video, you guys are going to hear from folks that are part of the steering committee of the Garfield Super Block team to share with you a little bit about how this project has been moving forward and where we are today. With that, I want to introduce one of our legacy community members, Mr. Robert Stevens, who is here to give you guys a little bit of history on this project.
Good morning. My name is Robert Stevens, Jr. I've been a resident of the Central area since 1959. I come to you today to give you an update on the Garfield Campus Superblock renovation project. This is a project that started in 2004 when the school district and the community was going to renovate the Garfield High School. With that project of the high school, we had teachers, parents, and community residents that took part in the design and stewardship of that project. We wanted to also build a new Quincy Jones Performing Arts Center, but the city required more parking spaces that the district had. So the district had to get an ordinance variance, which meant they had to do a mitigation to the community. That mitigation was the Garfield Campus Superblock renovation project. We come back to you today because this project started in 2004. It's supposed to be completed in 2008, and here it is 2020. So we come back to you, the community, if we need your input and your direction on how you want your community and your ethnic heritage represented on that campus. So please get in contact with us to move forward and getting this project done before 2021. Thank you.
Thanks for that, Robert. Up next, you guys are going to hear from our design team, Vanita and Amy. Take it away, guys.
Hi, I'm Vanita.
And I'm Amy.
And we are landscape architects with Site Workshop. And we are working on the design of the Garfield Super Block campus.
We're going to show you a series of slides of the improved landscape site plan design.
And I am going to start by sharing the screen right now, so give us a second. Oops.
Vanita's going to now start us off with an overall.
Sorry, getting back to the beginning here. Okay, great. So I'm going to take my mask off and talk a little more directly. So what you see here is a whole plan for the park portion of the Garfield Super Block campus. And what essentially Amy and I were hired to take a plan that was produced back in 2005 when the high school was renovated, that came up with this vision of a legacy and promise promenade that would connect, pass through the Super Block campus, connecting the high school and central area to the south, up to the Horseman School to the north, and all the adjacent residential areas. And when we were brought on, so this concept design already existed, but there's a lot of action now to make this happen, to actually build these improvements. So we've been looking at this at a more detailed level and advancing the design, and we'll be moving it further along into the design in the next months to come. So I'm gonna just touch on a few of the big ideas in this project, and then Amy's gonna kind of walk you around the block and just highlight some of the elements that we're thinking about at this point. So most importantly, creating a walking loop around the park that essentially starts, well, it can start at any point. There's 7 points where you can enter the park. And at each of these parks, we are proposing a gateway, an element that will celebrate one of the ethnic groups that historically formed the community of the central area. And that will just add a kind of a beautiful landmark at each of those points in the park. And then this loop pathway that is demarcated with this red band that you see winding its way around is meant to be a really high quality, very accessible, beautiful pathway with pause points all along it, integrated art, integrated storytelling, and these all these layers basically are meant to make this park just a bit more special, not a bit more, a lot more special than it is right now. A lot of these facilities are a little tired. They're not necessarily meeting all the needs of the community. So we've been thinking through all those details and thinking about ways that all the different communities that historically lived in this area can come together for events and celebration and play and games, supporting the ball field games that are played, having everyday activities, just, you know, going for a walk. And I will go to the next slide, and I'm going to let Amy get into some of the details.
So I'm just going to walk you all through the site, starting with that space that is indicated with an A, all the way around to F. So in this first space, I think the major aspects are really just to have this important entry off of Cherry Street and adjacent to the Garfield Community Center be demarcated with one of those integrated art elements that Nita was just discussing, that are located throughout the site. This space we've indicated as one of the art pieces to be a collective art piece with a unified art integration. And then we also have a continuation of that red band that goes throughout the site, and then this blue line at the base here, which indicates a low artful fence, where an existing fence is, but would then be replaced, as well as a new play area, which we're showing right here with 3 blue circles that could be a couple of different structured play equipment pieces. Moving on to the next portion of this site, along the west edge, we are showing 2 new locations for where these art gateway elements could also be. Just one is located right at the top of this sloping path, and then another one at the top of the stairway. And then again, just a continuation of that red band with artful paving and furnishings, and then the blue band as well with the low artful fence. In this portion of the site C, on the southwest corner, looking at another major entry to the site from the Garfield High School. And this would be demarcated by another art gateway element, as well as a continuation of that artful paving and band, and then some other artful seating elements on this existing concrete seat wall area at the edge of the back of the high school. And then we're also showing some other game day seating right in this area located on either side of the dugout. And then continuing to the southeast corner, we're looking at an extension of that paving on the south edge by the high school. And then some new playful elements are a key component to this space. So looking at 2 slides that we are introducing on the hill slide, which would have a fun little boulder scramble condition on one side, and then some more traditional steps on the other side to get up the slope. And then introducing an ADA ramp for accessibility to the slides and up from the lower path in the site to the upper sidewalk. And continuing also the red band in this area as well. And another blue rectangle at the bottom portion of this portion of the site would be the where we're introducing a climbing wall, so another play opportunity. Now we're going to start our route up north. So going north from that location, looking at the mid-block entry off of 25th, we're looking at another continuation of that red band throughout the site. Again, that could be paving or furnishings. Another art gateway opportunity, which could be in the form of a vertical element or something else in the paving, as well as 2 trail paths through the planting area. which we're showing in these gray curving bands through the middle here, and then introducing some native planting on either side, and then ways for the play to manifest differently. So in this space, we're looking at play below the existing trees to remain in the form of logs and boulders. And then again, just keeping all of that game day seating. And then as we route up north a little bit more, you can see an extension of that artful paving, the artful paving band, and two other new art gateways, one just off of 25th, which could be more of a threshold art gateway, and then another one adjacent to where we're showing this new restroom, which would have a water feature element. Also, more game day seating, which would be this timber stacked event seating that you're seeing here along the side of the dugout, and then in the middle of this event plaza space, which you could face the tennis courts for viewing, or these paved games, which we are highlighting in another blue playful space just adjacent to the tennis courts. And then looking at the new restroom, which we are proposing in this space, which in this configuration shows 3 new individually accessed restrooms with a storage and then a canopy overhead and some large group tables below. And some images of what that could look like are below. And then, well, you can't really see it in this one. I think that's pretty much it actually. So thank you for listening to our site design.
Awesome job, Amy and Benita. Thank you guys so much for giving us some clarity on the full-on design of this project. And lastly, for this video, you guys, I want to introduce Esther Irvin, who is going to talk a little bit about the art and the importance that it has in this project.
Hello, my name is Esther Irvin, and I'm working with the Garfield Super Block Coalition because of my expertise in art and my history in art. We see that the Central District neighborhoods are, and community history is being erased at a rapid pace. As these changes happen, the project aims to emphasize the CD's strong historical ties with cultural communities that have contributed to its historic development. So these communities are the Duwamish people, the Jewish people, Black and African American people, the Japanese, Chinese, Filipino, and Italian people. Art is going to play a major role in connecting these 7 cultures that contribute to the history of the Seattle District, Central District, by depicting the stories of these cultures and other significant events in CD history, such as, but not limited to, Chief Seattle's people in the area, the 1850 US treaties that pushed the Duwamish out of the area to reservations, William Gross, the founder of the Seattle Central District, Seattle's redlining, and data about the purchase of the park and the high school from the Henry Yesler estate. The Garfield Super Block Coalition will collaborate with community groups early to ensure that art is a unique and integral part of the overall design. Similar to the murals in Garfield High School, art will illustrate the history of the central area in a chronological way. There will be individual and collaborative art pieces. Ideas include artful seating, gateways, decorative fencing, and artistic paving. The art curatorial team will work closely with the selected artist and the architectural team to create a cohesive and beautiful setting. The coalition is now in the process of creating guidelines for how the art will be integrated and how artists will be selected. The coalition does not intend to initiate a call for artists, but instead, we intend to work closely with community groups and stakeholders from the 7 cultures to identify participating artists. Further, we will be calling upon the young people of the Central District to help depict their hopes and dreams for the future. We cannot stop change from happening in our neighborhoods, but together we can create a lasting testament to its history. Thank you.
Well, that right there wraps up our video, guys. But as you can see, we have a team that is here present, ready to answer any questions you may have and to also hear your feedback. That's what this is all about, because we know that community voice is so important in these projects. We want to make sure that we're hearing you guys out and that we're incorporating your ideas into the final design. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned and be ready with all of your questions that you have, because we are definitely ready to answer. Thanks.